tapped into latent memories that are literally dimensions in time. There's no such thing as space and time. And I literally tapped into the dimensions of time, and I was literally back in 78. And then it got so funky, I went to 79, I went to 80 when I was a freshman in college. I went all the way, and I started going, and I went back even further than 78. So it's meant that in actuality, this is how we time travel. You see, and I did it through water. So the number one goal of the American government is dehydration. Through safe water, which dehydrates you. Yes. And through soda and shit that dehydrates you. And MSG and all forms of sodium and dehydration in various foods. Because if you can keep black people, the melanin people dehydrated, you can keep them shut down and keep them dormant. You get? So therefore, during the summer solstice last year, they dropped off a 10-foot mound of sodas. 99 cents, 12 packs. And niggas bought them all up. Niggas had 2 or 3 baskets. Got enough soda for 20-something. 2010. But they understand they dehydrate you during the summer solstice. You see. The number one key is dehydration and sleep deprivation. Because what is melanin? It is sleep, the realm of sleep. We'll go into that in a few minutes. In a few minutes. So, these stones are these gems, are these stones. The word is called Herma stone. Hermes, Tahuti stone, and the Herma stone is called a demon or a Damien. So all this stuff that we have learned is evil is a form of melanin. Do you know the word Satan? When you break it down and break it down in an alchemical form, Satan is melanin. You hear the shadow of darkness, the prince of darkness. All this is alchemical for the yin and the yang. You see what I'm saying? Forms of melanin. Now, give you some examples. Y'all all right?
Yeah. Talk to him, Bobby.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's deal with the thing. Okay. Okay. This is the guy Horus. Heru. Horus, Heru. Harpocrates. A Heru Harpocrates. This is the child Christ. You see this Horus block represents what's in his ear. The Varahagna chakra. And also, in his ear, it produces some stuff called the Buddha Rupa. And the Buddha Rupa is a form of melanin. The Horus lock represents what is in his ear. The Horus lock becomes Horlock, Warlock. Satan gets behind me. This is the God Best, which represents the medulla oblongata, the mouth of God, the most concentrated part of the melanin. At the base of the skull and the top of the spine. Satan gets behind me. This is the Christ. Is best actually in him, which is melanin. You saw this on the movie Star Wars, where Yoda was training Luke Skywalker, and he had him on his back, climbing up the rope. You see what I'm saying? That is this particular aspect. You see the movie Puppet Masters, where they had this thing look like it taps into the spine and it controls the people. Well, that's what's going to happen to you when you tap into this particular part. The reptilian shit that David Icke and all the bullshit niggas are talking about is the Kundalini race, the serpentine fire, the Uraeus crown. And they telling you reptilian and telling you it's the reptilian thing. They have taken ancient metaphysical paradigms and metaphysical teachings of the Uraeus Kundalini energy that shoots up the spine, called baptized in the fire of Hell's fire. Hell's fire is the Kundalini energy that shoots up the spine. And they're taking that and made literal things and they're calling that the reptilian that's coming down here to hurt you. Dr. Delbert Blair said about 3 weeks ago that when this blue race of people come, they're going to be so terrible, or this green man, so we're going to run to white people with allies. I said, no, I'll make a deal. They're going to come down here to kill some white people. I'll hold the white man down and say, look, I'll make a deal with you. I'll give you 100,000 no good niggas just to wipe all these crackers off the planet. We got some fucked up black people we can get rid of. So I say, this is ludicrous. I ain't having no allies with no damn devil for some blue man that ain't coming, but we know the difference. This is a code word for you or the reptilian, but you're thinking of some old lizard man. They're talking about the esoteric terminology of the Urea serpentine race of people, which is you, which is talking about the Kundalini energy. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Let's go on. Let's deal with you. The beings who live below say that God is on high, while the angels in heaven say that God lives on earth. That's the Zohar, which is the literal Kabbalah found in Spain. This sounds like something Uncle Muhammad said. That the most ancient gods they used to worship was down here on earth. But ain't that funny? We said the man with third grade education, and we now we have it in the Zohar, which is the written Kabbalistic text. You see, which is the written Kabbalistic text. Let's go on. Y'all all right? Okay. This particular thing that we're dealing with here, Paul has said, is the same concept as the one I just showed you with this particular half approximate. Same concept. This set which is behind him, Satan gets behind you, is the medulla oblongata, the most concentrated part of melanin. Soot, which means black, on, which means anubis, which means opening, the black hole, the black gate, the black sun. Soot on, shaitan, Satan. Titan, Titan. All of these are very ancient metaphysical words for the dark side, which is the deepest part of the subconscious mind called the amenta.
Okay.
You see. So whenever you go and you talk against Satan, you're talking against your own nature. The dark side, which is the most inner you, the yin and the yang. The nucleus. You see. The nucleus. You see. The Europeans have a Mach nuclei with one ring of consciousness. You see. You are the Lord of the Rings. The book, the Lord of the Rings, which is rings of consciousness. Osiris had 14 pieces cut in half. You know, the 13th piece, the 14th piece was the penis. It was not the penis down here, it was the pineal gland, the penis of God. You know, so they say nobody who is not circumcised can enter the kingdom of heaven. Obviously, well, what about women? It's not talking about a circumcised penis, it's talking about an uncircumcised pineal gland, or a calcified pineal gland. Which, you know, the penis is the clitoris elongated after so many months. But we know that the clitoris is almost identical to the pineal gland, a grain of corn. You see. So, they have a Mach nuclei with one ring of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? They are carbon-based beings. You are carbon beings. Understand the terminology. They are carbon-based beings. You are carbon beings. You see. So, hold on, let me go on. So,
Talk about it. We're waiting on it.
all right. We got a lot to cover. Hold on 1 minute. So,
Somebody think 3 days. How many you got?
This is a one coming from England called Black Kundalini. Some people have seen these spirits. You've seen stuff like this in the corner of your eye. Some of you seen this in meditation, you know. And in so many words, this particular paint is just a little abstract paint. But in actuality, they're trying to indicate that the true beings look like this. Pure melanin. You see, pure melanin. see. The pure beings look like this. You've seen some stuff like this. They call it the shadow realm. Anytime you hear the word shadow, that means melanin in Jungian psychology. They got these code words. You see what I'm saying? So anytime you hear the word shadow, now, this particular shadow, let me give up another picture of shadow substance. Yeah, this is interesting here. This comes from England. That's the little white boy with the tail. You know, it comes from England. You've probably seen me talk about that before. This comes from France. There's a brother from the Nation of Islam down in Atlanta. I think he's in Michigan now in Islamic studies. He has tons of literal photographs of this. This is one that I got of this particular part based on the tail. They photograph melanin in the brain. They photograph melanin in the brain. Don't ask me how the white boy does it, but you know. What's his name? What's his name told me about this at first. Leo of Africa talked about this particular stuff. So don't ask me how the white boy does it. But also, too, this particular symbolic representation of chaos, because melanin is chaos. In the beginning, there was chaos. Melanin is chaos. Now, how can you put a damn name on some shit like that? Whenever you try to box this in as one deity religion, you shut this down. The problem is, and I said this last night, one of the main problems is we worship a monotheistic system that shuts down the components of the archetype of collective unconsciousness. There was multi-deity system, which when you put them together, it represents a puzzle, the one God and the God one. Islam, they say Allah has 99 attributes. So whenever you just worship that one deity system, you shut down the archetypes of collective unconsciousness and all of this stuff that's going on. Wow. You see. So therefore it needs a multi-deity system to understand. That's what you get these spiritual babies of the babies in Europe. I mean in Europe in the voodoo. This is the voodoo babies. Whenever you throw these down, these images, which is called shadow matters, when you die, if no one calls your name, sooner or later you forget your memory and you become this shadow matter. That shadow matter is in alchemy. It's called the negrito, the Saul nigger or the Saul Niger, or the nigrum niggus. The nigger niggus. This is shit. I wonder why the white boy wants us to stop calling ourselves nigger. I saw the white boy on TV when they get mad. See what I'm saying? That's in the alchemical terminology. You can get that in some Jung terminology, psychology, and alchemy. But this particular stuff is called the Saul Niger. And it's a multiple deity system. It's called chaos, and it needs various deities. These babies are shadow matters. And what happens is whenever you put these babies down, these particular entities remember who they are and they come to the certain ones, or these sigils, when you put them down. That energy comes to this and you use that energy for what you need to do with it. We're going to use that energy to go to war with. And we'll go into that later on. We're going to use that energy to go to war with. Y'all all right? All right. The white boys, you here. The insectoid power spheres the black races that have kept them, insectoid power spheres the black race and have kept them subjected and confused, because they hold the key to knowledge. Their genetic plan, which is melanin information, is needed to unlock the advanced secrets of Sirius, the star Sirius data. The segmented data units is also carried by the East Indian clans, and some which were originally from the fourth planet in the Sirius star system. We'll get into that later on. But anyway, this is coming from, what's my man's book? This is the white boy that put this thing down, wrote this. Robert. Huh?
Wow, that's the first thing. Wow.
No, it's a book called UFOs. No, I'm not talking about Rod Temple.
Oh, okay.
UFOs, Friends, and Foes. His name is, I think it's Greenfield. George C. Greenfield or something like that. No, George C. Greenhorn. UFOs, Friend, or Foe. The book, you know, it deals with, and we'll get into that UFO thing because that's the shit to throw you off. There's physical UFOs, but they're made by the government. Our shit is not physical. Your soul is represented as the divine disc of Heru. Even your boy Pat Robinson said, yeah, there's UFOs, but they're angelic. He even dropped on that when Independence Day came out. And so we talking about something else. This whole physical shit is abducting people. Is the government from 1947 on up. You see what I'm saying? Abducting doggone people. But in this book here, he mentions this particular piece, and the sister from Detroit had him to come speak. And I think he skated around the issue where he got this thing from. George C. Greenhorn is his name. But it's in that particular book, UFO, Friend or Foe. You know, also. Now, let me go on. This is a piece. It represents the Medusa. As you can see, that's a sister, all right. See how in my eyes, you know she got a hand on her goddamn hip. But the piece coming from England. But here you see the dreadlocks, but you see this demon-looking person. The demon here represents melanin. These are hieroglyphic terminologies and symbolic terminologies that represents a much more powerful energy. You got bleach, you got water. So in the hieroglyphic scripts or the symbolic scripts, they put the demon, the gargoyle, the hideous monster, it was science, it was chemistry, it was alchemy. The gargoyle in those were hieroglyphic signs for much more powerful energy. You know, you got the skull and the crossbones. You know, and you look at the skull and the crossbones, you say that means it's poison or it's dangerous because it's high energy. You don't think the skull and the crossbones mean that it's evil. You understand? You see, so they have deprecated these things into making you think that every damn thing is evil. And these are ancient symbologists talking about your inner nature. You see what I'm saying? Talk about your inner nature. So I talked about this last time in the seals of the Goetia, which is the Goetia is found in the Goetia is found in Europe, mainly translated from the British Museum. This is text that the Moors left behind. The Lesser Key of Solomon. Solomon is Osiris. There was never no historical Solomon. Solomon, the wisest man in the world. You got 80,000 goddamn priests to go to Karnak temple at one time, and Solomon, the wisest motherfucker in the world. Some sand dweller. The Hebrew script used to be of ancient mythology, Cushite mythology. As it got deteriorated years later, they turned it into a historical piece. And they took they historicalized ancient mythology. So Solomon is Osiris, and Amen-Ra. Sol, which means sun, Amen, which means hidden. Amen-Ra, Solomon. You see, El, which means sun, El, which means sun, Amen, which means hidden, Emmanuel. You see, all this shit is in the Bible. Your boy, Jeremiah, the book of the beginning, volume 2, give you the Hebrew deities identified. The Hebrew deities identified in Hemmitt, or in Egyptian. Hebrew Egyptian deities identified. And he breaks down all of this particular stuff. We're talking about ancient. So Joseph Campbell said that the Hebrew religion shouldn't have been invented. He said the Hebrew religion shouldn't have been invented. It used to be an ancient mythology. If you can ever get your books on the mythology, take the historical shit out of the way and get a book called, it comes from Santee Press out of London, England. They print a lot of out-of-print books. It's a book called The Legends of Israel, or Legends of Israel. The Legends of Israel. The name of this book. You ever get your hands on it? It's 3 volumes now. The last name of the guy is Rapper Poet. And literally you'll see if you just break it down in the mythology that all this shit ain't nothing but Egyptian deities too. But they historicalize the stuff. So Solomon is Osiris. Osiris is the god of the perfect black, which is your Osirian physical body is your body. So these seals, there's 72 seals. You got 7 chakras in the body, but in the black dot, the third eye, you got 72 other chakras. And those 72 other chakras sit over legions of 30 legions each. And legions represent 10,000. So we're talking about millions of melanated entities that the white boy is calling extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial is not no green man, just a piece of terminology. Terrestrial means earthbound. Extraterrestrial just means that which is beyond the earth. You see what I'm saying? So, we are the extraterrestrials. You see, there's no mystery behind this shit. We came years ago, but we didn't come by migrating in spaceships. We were in the spiritual realm, and the earth gradually took on a physical form. And that's what the fall was. You came from the spiritual world, and later on, the vibratory rate fell into the physical form. So the fall wasn't talking about you falling from heaven, or the fall is you came from spaceships. You were the ship, the seals, the beings of light, the seals. You were these seals, which is these entities, these daemonic entities, these gems, these stones. All of this stuff is alchemy. And later on, you took on physical form. And what is left of you now is a little seed that is inside of the lower intestinal tract. That's who you are. And all the rest of this shit is an illusion. Doesn't exist. Series of events that don't exist. You see. And as you came into a physical form for thousands of years, you had detailed files. We talked about this last time. But later on, you shut down the 5 senses. And when you shut down the 5 senses, you became convinced that this is you. And this is only the prison. So these particular seals is the extraterrestrial that they're talking about, and this shit is alchemical, and they got shit to do with some outer space invasion, which they scaring you up to get you scared of your own self being invaded. You are the one that's invaded. But it's the science behind this, based on alchemical science. Now let's go on. Y'all all right?
All right.
Okay. Let's go on. We'll get back to some of the visual thing in a minute. Get back to the visual thing in a minute. What we got to go into is a whole bunch of warfare things. Now, we're going to jump around all kind of ways and do some stuff. In 8 Ways Holy Kabbalah, by 8 Ways, it says that the Christ who is to come is in all of us. The Christ who is to come is in all of us. Now, I want to get through some stuff right now. The dark side is light that these 2 eyes is incapable of seeing. These 2 eyes can only see holographic images. The dark side is light that these 2 eyes can't see. You see? So because these two eyes can't see that light, it appears to be dark. The pineal eye, or the pineal gland, sees the true light. You see? See the true light now. Let's break this down. Alvin Lloyd Kuhn, which is a Masseyite in the 1940s, tapped into something. He tapped into something that a lot of people fail to see, and the Christians say we can't let this out because we wouldn't be able to fool the people about going to hell no more. Now I'll read this. First of all, there was a group called, they attributed it to one person called Milton. Milton wrote a book called Paradise Lost. Milton was a group of medieval Hermeticists, which means they were Moors. And as a result, Milton would literally be just the name of the book, Milton Paradise Lost, but it was a whole group of Moors that wrote Paradise Lost. Now, it says there begin with the most, with this vast medieval legend that became focus of Milton's grand epic. And the Paradise Lost is this thing about how man fell in hell, how man was hurled into hell, how Lucifer was bound and hurled from heaven up under the ground or whatever this shit was. Now, the tradition of man having lost the paradise and having been cast out of heaven and thrown into a prison or a dungeon or a pit, like a lake of pitch. Anytime you hear the word pitch, Hebraic thing for melanin. The word pitch black. Hebraic tongue for melanin. You see, they said Noah spread pitch all over the ark. The Ark of the Covenant and Noah's Ark was the same shit. The flood that went down he was flooded. This is metaphysical for, as Brother Wayne Chandler deals with it in the book, his book Ancient Future, also dealing with the Kabbalion, the three initiates, that the first law of the universe is the law of vibration. And so we have a slowed down vibratory rate, which everything became solid. So the flood was meant that the flood is other esoteric, although there are several flood stories that represent delusions of real flood. But the flood story that they talk about the earth falling and being destroyed by water was talking about the flood from the spiritual realm flooding into the physical. Remember Rudolf Steiner in his book, Universe, Earth, and Man. Universe, Earth, and Man, Rudolf Steiner, and also in his book, Cosmic Memory. Universe, Earth, and Man, it tells you that before, and I mentioned this last night, it says that before the physical, the spiritual world was visible. And the spiritual world was this dim, like a shadow. The physical world was like a dim shadow. As the vibratory rate slowed down, the physical world became more visible, and the spiritual world became invisible. So the flood was the flooding of the physical over the spiritual. And now you have the spiritual taking back over the physical. You see. But in the Waste Kabbalah it says what? The intruder has come in and caused an incontinuance to learning. The intruder is a person who wasn't there in the beginning, which is the white man, and who is now in truth masquerading as civilization and as God. They say that the intruder has now come in and caused an incontinuance to learning because he causes luxury, materialism, needful things. And Stephen King's needful things. The intruder causes luxury. You want luxury. That's why you want reparation. So you go buy some shit out the mall. Come on. That is bullshit. Now the ancestors died. Your ancestors ain't died, but some of you to sell out to the goddamn devil. He pay you out. To beg for reparation means you need for some goddamn dollars. All our songs, they don't dance or sing for them for $1 or $2, not even $1 million. There ain't no money on earth. The best you want to sell your goddamn people out and let the devil give you some goddamn reparations. But see, we don't think that way no more because we don't think spiritual no more. Fuck the money. I want his ass. Because he calls it luxury, he calls it incontinuous towards learning. This is 8Jul2000. Yeah, 8Jul2000. This is the page number. It's the section called Coming of the Messiah. Page number 8Jul2000. I think it's in, I think that the word is true is in this particular part, in the index. But now, you talking about revelation. You talking about damn revelation. But nobody thinks spiritual no more. You don't understand that he the one that brought that shit out. And he keep you saying, you want it, he don't. But he knows that's the way he does shit. Make you think he's fighting for you not to get it. So when the shit go down, he can pass right the damn money. You see? But see, now we are fucking animals because we have become him. And now we'll do anything for goddamn money. Joseph Kipperoni, white boy from damn Australia, is talking about us. He said the true beings will do anything for money. The true beings will do anything for money because you remain animal-like. That's right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? You see? So, they call it luxury. Now, Milton's Paradise Lost said man having lost paradise and cast out of heaven and thrown into a prison, a dungeon, pitch black, a dark cavern of the underground where suffering was intensified by fire, and was almost universal background of theological belief world over. The wide possession, this wide possession might have remained highly instructed had Milton, in common with all the isolated groups of Hermeticists in Europe, which is Moors, hadn't lost the signal of the knowledge of the fallen angels. Now this is the point what he says right here. The lost signal of the knowledge of the fallen angels, the rebel host, the armies of Satan, Lucifer, were collectively man himself.
Read that again.
Yeah, read that again. Wow.
The wide, I want to read the part. Hold on 1 minute. Let me get this right. And get the last one. The lost signal of the knowledge of the fallen angels, the rebel host, the armies of Satan, Lucifer were collectively man himself. And the fiery lake in which they were hurled was just our good earth. Was just our good earth. Now, to fall, who fell? We fell into the physical. Even Blavatsky tells you, even if you can't allocate for the maintenance the perfect way, that man is Sataning God in the physical. You are the Satan, the Titan, the Soot-on, the Shit-on, the Sutek, the Melchizedek. You are the such arm. It just means physical body. Also, as far because you were bound, Satan was bound for 1,000 years in a physical body. You are the fallen angels, which means you fell into a physical body. That's what separates you from the seraphim. The seraphim is the archangel. You are the cherubim. Cherubim is bound. Bound by what? A physical body. We go deep tonight. So you'll understand this particular stuff. You got to break all this stuff down. You got to break all this particular stuff down. Lucifer simply means the pineal gland. Life bringer. These are ancient alchemical terminology around 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, they started turning into evil mythology, turning into evil fairy tales, because the Roman government wanted to keep the subject in slavery. So they took all this ancient stuff and they outlawed all of the science that brings you back to God, because you had to worship a doggone God and be obedient for the state of Rome and the Pope. You see what I'm saying? The human being can only and must be born again and led back to the primal materia, which means melanin. The root of alchemy is blackening substance called the primal materia. The primal materia out of which comes forth his astral nature. Before the Son of Man can be exalted, he must be humbled and ascend, and before he ascends to heaven, he must walk 3 days in hell. Matthew 12:40. This condition of alchemical blackness, whose central darkness, as Riley thought, as Ripley thought, which is I guess an alchemist, extends over 3 days and nights to total blackness that lasts 40 days. Remember, Jesus went in this thing and did 3 days and lasted 40 days. Even Jesus remained 40 days after his resurrection on earth, before he descended into heaven. Therefore, you must go through the gate of darkness if you want to win the paradise of light. So the dark side is where you need to be going, because we're talking about alchemy, which is called the alchemical blackness. There you have it. That's what the whole satanic realm is, the dark side, and all that shit is talking about alchemical blackness, which is the region of melanin. You get it?
Got it.
Which is the region of melanin. Let's go on. Got a lot of stuff here covered. Huh?
Keep covering.
Keep covering, okay. Chaos, which I showed you the whole chaos thing. I showed you the chaos thing. This is chaos. Chaos. The state of things which change is supreme. Now, let's get into this. The reason why you can't go back to ancient Kemet is because the melanin inside of you, which even your boy says it, melanin is chaos. It's called rasa, also rasa and gunas, also in Hindu alchemy. Rasas and gunas and kamas. This melanin is also called the mercurous substance. This substance has to go into a state of change. It always has to change. Melanin always is in a state of change, and it cannot go back to its original state. So therefore, you can't go back to Africa, you can't go back to being Egypt, and you can't go back to being on the top of humanity. You have to evolve to the other species, which is beyond the physical. That's why anything you do to try to work out this damn physical shit ain't gonna work. That's why
Watch out for it.
So the melanin, which is chaos, chaos is a state of things which change is supreme. It's supreme. You have to go to the next level. You see? So you can't go back to no goddamn Egypt. That's why every damn thing you did, based on revolution, liberation, and all that shit, it don't work. Because you don't understand the alchemical process of the soul. A caterpillar don't go into a cocoon, the physical body, the cocoon, to become a goddamn caterpillar. It becomes a butterfly, metamorphosized. The soul metamorphosized, and the melanin can't go back to its original state. It is the only thing on the planet and in the universe that has to be in a state of flux and change. Everything the Rick Vader say, all things goes back to chaos. Damn Rick Vader. All things go back to chaos.
Around you somewhere.
The Hindu myths. I think it's in the Hindu myths. Yeah. I think it's in his book, The Hindu Myths by O'Flaherty. Wendy O'Flaherty.
Yeah.
O''L''F''A''H''E''R''T''Y. O'Flaherty. And it talks about indicating all things. Chaos out of order. Chaos out of order. But all things must go back to chaos. Hindu Myths by Wendy O'Flaherty. Now, Gershom Scholem, which is one of the top Kabbalistic white boys in Tel Aviv, who pieced together all these texts, they said, well, what is all this shit about? Draw out ancient knowledge and put it back together. He died in 82. He said, well, ultimately, this stuff is talking about all shit going back to chaos. The chaos realm, the melanin realm. The chaos realm, no mutants allowed. No goddamn mutants allowed.
Right.
No fucking mutants allowed in this shit.
You mean the white boy is there?
Let me go on. Wendy O'Flaherty. We must understand the laws. We are world-class people now. We can't go on fields of history and all that bullshit. That's all good. That's the introduction. You know who you are. But now you got to understand the straight science. This is what white people do when you ain't around. Yeah, discussing your shit. This is the flux. Animalist, spiritualist. That's when you was in that, in a semi-physical realm. Pagan, which only means those who don't have a religion. No ancient person had a religion.
Right.
You see? Monotheists, that's when shit starts fucking up. Because you broke down the multi-deity deity system from the scientific principle. It represented the one God and the God one, down to just bowing down and hoping nothing don't screw you in the ass. This shit is. Now, I know, I do these curse words and stuff for a reason. Let me give you this thing, so y'all don't know. We are world-class people, but we have been with certain programs. First of all, there's no such thing as no. The only curse word there is that you don't get offended by it, that's damn. At least one that you don't get offended by. You didn't use it in the pulpit. And you have to use it in a way to damn somebody for it to be a curse word, to curse somebody. You got to understand. So the whole stuff is just British slang. That's all. That you have been, that you have been programmed to respond to since a child. You got to break the program. So I do this for a reason, to override certain traditional programs. They don't exist. You don't get mad at real curse words. You see. So, this particular part is when stuff shuts down. Then you go to the white man shit. Atheist, nihilist. And nihilist is not so bad. Y'all should be wanting to tell them all this shit. Any day that you wake up should be a bad day. That's a spiritual law. See, look. You know it's fucked up. It's taught that life was pointless. Now, Alchemy, in the same book, Lost Light, said, in the same book, Lost Light, see if I can get this to the passage. Y'all all right?
We're all right. We're all right.
Life and death. Listen. Listen up. The words of death, the dead, are used in scriptures referring to humanity in an earthly embodiment. We, stirring mortals, are the dead of the Bible and other sacred books. And the dead spoken of the dead spoken of there is our living existence. The Egyptians said that this is what happens, what you call civilization, is what happens when a whole bunch of damn gods died a long time ago. And that's your seed in that gastrointestinal tract that died a long time ago and got trapped down this motherfucker. You get this? Hold on, let me read this again. The fact stands that they, the Egyptians, call our life here death. And that they spoke of the dead in sacred books, indubitably, that they meant living human. The word death, the dead, are used in old scriptures are referring to humanity. Yes. And earthly embodiment.
There you are.
We scurrying mortals are dead. All the dead of the Bible and other sacred books, and the death spoken here is our living existence. The Tibetan Book of the Dead say that reality is, no, enlightenment is the, hold on, let me get this right. Enlightenment is the realization of the unreality of existence. Enlightenment is the realization of the unreality of existence. Now, there's a book, there's an ancient text called the Suffering King. And what this king did is he became enlightened. When his eyes opened, he found out that the kingdom that he was ruling over, if you need change, he found out that the kingdom that he was ruling over didn't exist. So he went crazy. He started going crazy. Wow. All out in the street, and the people was like, you need to be a king. You know, they want a monarch over there. And so his father called a sage. Somebody get me some towels. You ain't got to get them wet because I'm already wet. Paper napkins or whatever. So his father called a priest or a sage. There's some in the bathroom, I guess. And the sage came up and the sage cured him. Somebody got some already. The sage cured him. And how did the sage cure him? The sage cured him by saying, you are right. This shit don't exist. He said, so what should I do? He said, go back and rule anyway. He said, well, how can I rule over a kingdom that don't exist? He said, well, you got one up over the other kings, because the other kings think that this shit exists. So when some stuff go wrong, they were thinking, oh Lord, it's me, oh God, I'm a failure. He said, you know when shit go wrong, it don't exist no way. And that's how we supposed to live our lives. This was an illusion. You see? A holographic universe, Michael Talbot. Michael Talbot's book, A Holographic Universe. Let's go on. Y'all all right?
We're all right.
Okay. So, chaos, an unorganized state of primordial matter before creation. Well, goddamn, that's black people right now. You unorganized. That's good. That's good. Think about it. A greatest white man's civilization on earth. I said the greatest white man's civilization. He can't even measure to our lowest shit. And yet, how great he is, he still has this enigma. You can't get your shit together. You see how beautiful that is? If it weren't for you, this would be the ultimate empire. But because of you, you represent the thorn in the side. The enigma. You see the dirty secret. So chaos is an unorganized state of confusion before creation. That's you. A confused state of mass. Well, you confused and you in the masses. That's melanin. Chaos, a primal source, first of all. No, I don't need no ice. I ain't gonna take the problem. Okay, bro. I need to take you back in the damn grill.
What's all this?
You need to go back. I haven't made no.
No way.
You know? Give a nigga some ice. It is not anarchy, it's chaos. In the beginning there was chaos. Agents of chaos cast a burning glance at everything and anyone capable of bearing witness to their condition. One must have chaos, which is melanin, to give birth to a dancing star, which is your soul. You must have melanin to become the Christ. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, which is carbon. The Christ. What's that book? Secrets of Montauk. Pyramids of Montauk. Preston Nichols and Peter Moon. Preston Nichols and Peter Moon. Chapter Wisdom of Tahuti. Pyramids of Montauk. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, which make carbon. We are carbon beings.
Perfect black.
God of perfect black. One must have chaos to give birth to a dancing star. Matter is an illusion. Solidity is an illusion. We are an illusion. Only chaos is real. That's your soul. The limitless heavens shine in continuance of chaos. Y'all getting this stuff? Okay. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Let's go. I got a lot of stuff. So I just want to go through a whole bunch of stuff. It's all kind of stuff. Yeah. Y'all all right? Okay.
Man.
I just want to go through all kind of stuff. So,
having a liberation here tonight. A liberation tonight.
okay. Nobody got to go to church tomorrow. All right. Let's see here. Okay, look at this. Okay, this guy wrote this thing. This guy wrote this thing. His name is Robert Shapiro is his name. And he wrote this about the Africans. He says, black people, no matter how, he said, I know you might not want to hear this. He's talking to white people. I know you might not want to hear this, but black people, no matter how they express themselves, act as a link to the Sirius star system, from which the female principle radiates and supports humanity. If the population of dark-skinned people falls below 7% on the Earth total, I don't think you'll be able to go on. I don't think you'll be able to go on. He's talking to white people. But it is more likely that your reproduction will go into decline. You see, dark-skinned people hold and radiate the feminine principle more than any other single group. African people and groups of many people in India, Pakistan, and thereabouts are planning to return to their home planet. I'll explain what that is. Return to your home planet. This planet here is your damn home planet before it was the physical. Many of which were from Sirius, Andromeda, and Pleiades. We're talking about dimensional things. and vibratory rates other than we're talking about space and time. There's no such thing as space and time. They plan on returning to Sirius, Andromeda, and the Pleiades in mass in the next 30 years. Shit. We got 30 years, we through dealing, because this cracker gonna make sure that if he kill us all off, so we gotta go on the offensive on his ass. And I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do it too. I am not actually sure what you can do to encourage them to stay here, but their leaving will probably affect things. On the other hand, if there are dark-skinned people in the rest of the world, you might be all right. He's talking to white people. They plan on returning to Sirius, Andromeda, and the Pleiades in mass in the next 30 years. Shit. We got 30 years, we through dealing, because this crap is going to make sure that if he kill us all off, so we got to go on the offensive on his ass. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do it too. I am not actually sure what you can do to encourage them to stay here, but their leaving will probably affect things. On the other hand, if there are dark-skinned people in the rest of the world, you might be all right. He's talking to white people. These people will generally make exceptions. I realize this will encourage people to run to the southern hemisphere, Africa. In a larger sense, this wouldn't be too bad. So he was telling them, shit, y'all need to get the hell on to Africa. That's what they was doing. 8Jul2000 is they went back to Africa in mass. You see, this might not be sad because it has more to offer in the northern hemisphere than raw materials. So he's admitted that they're getting the raw materials from Africa, but he's also saying this year has more as far as a safe haven. You see what I'm saying? It is an attitude, a way of life, and a greater sense of love. So he's telling me we got to, in order for them to get along with us, survive on the planet, they got to love black people. Well, that's too goddamn late. That shit. Not when your ass is up against the wall. All right? You all right? Yeah. I want to go through some things. Now, before this stuff was called melanin, it was called real power. You can also get this in Blavatsky's secret doctrine. You can also get this, but it says that this terrible force called real or melanin is named by the Atlanteans as Mash. The Aryan races in the Astrolabe, the original Aryans were black people. The original Aryans were black people. So anytime you hear that, white people talking about Aryan nation, they talking about black. The original Aryans were black. Because the original Aryans in the Astrolabe, but by name, we do not like to give. Now he's talking about this particular power, this melanin power. There's a book called Alec McLeland, called Real Power. Alec McLeland, The Mysteries of Virile Power. That's the book, and the virile is spelled V-R-I-L, Vril. That's the name that they was calling melanin before they was calling it melanin. They was calling it virile or occultism. Occultism. You'll get that all in your book, The Dark Sun. So virile is what they call it. Now the guy that had this vision, Woodmont, there's a lot of people had several visions at the turn of the century or at the late 19th century. So one had a vision called Bram Stoker's Dracula, Alpha Draconis, a whole lot of symbology into that. One had a vision, your whole H.P. Lovecraft had visions. Another guy by the name of Lord Doomsley. Several of these things come when they don't have the scholarship at that particular time. This stuff does not stay off the planet. It comes in several ways. How do you think the mythology came? The same way. So mythology can come now the same way it did thousands of years ago. Now, the virile power at Woodmont called The Coming Race. That was the name of his book. This guy named Woodmont wrote a book called The Coming Race and the Race of Mankind. He said the name virile may be fiction, but the force itself is fact. This is what Blavatsky said. And as in India and as the existence of the Rishas, since it is mentioned in 6 secret works. These are the works. the vibratory force, which is aimed at many. Now, because the name of this book is called Alchemy, The Mysteries of the Real Power. I think is the name of the book. The Mysteries of the Real Power, D-R-I-L Power, Alec McLeland's book. And he goes on in the book to explain that it's also the mysteries of the Kundalini energy. Very key.